In this video, I'd like to talk about flat surface machining. Flat surface machining is a three-axis cutting strategy that can be used to machine flat surfaces on your part. In many cases, regular two-axis machining will do the job, but flat surface machining is available if you need it. To begin, I'm going to move up to NC, down to three-axis, and down to flat surface. I'm going to select the visible surfaces to machine and look at our tool information. We have a 1/4 inch 4-flute end mill, which is fine. Once again, make sure that your tool number, length offset, and diameter offset are appropriate for your program. When I go to the Cut Control tab, you can see that we're climb milling. Our stock to leave is 0, and our rapid plane is set at 2.2 inches. The maximum Z value and minimum Z value are important. These are the levels between which SURFCAM will look for flat surfaces. Our surface tolerance of 1/1000 is typical, and our flat surface tolerance is especially important. Any deviation of more than 2/1000 from a flat surface means that SURFCAM will not consider that as a flat surface available for cutting. Our minimum area is the minimum area squared with which we will be able to make a cut. Our XY step over is 100/1000. I'm going to click OK down at the bottom and see what kind of tool path we get. When we look at our finished tool path, we can see a couple of things. We were successful in machining the 3 pocket areas, but we also machined the areas up on top of the part. That is, these narrow ridges here that represent the outside perimeter of the part. You also see a zigzag style of pattern as we make our cutting moves. There's some parameters we can set that will eliminate this, and I want to show you one of them right now. If I don't want to cut the top ridges of the part, I can go back into my Operations Manager and regenerate with original geometry. Under the Cut Control tab, I can change my maximum Z value to some other number. The easiest way to do this is to click on the icon to the right of the maximum Z value, select Endpoint, and then zoom in on the part. I'm going to pick an endpoint that represents the highest Z level I want to look at for a flat surface. I've selected the endpoint of that line, and now we're going to look at surfaces between 1 1/8 inch and about 0. Going to click OK. We'll zoom out and we'll see what happens. Here's the result of our maximum Z level adjustment. We're machining the 3 pockets now, and only the 3 pockets, because they are the only flat surfaces below the maximum Z level we set. We're no longer machining the edges of the part or the tops of the ribs in the middle, because they're above the maximum Z level. Another thing we can notice is a number of rapid moves at each end of the open pocket. This is due to another parameter. If I go to the Operations Manager and regenerate our tool path with original geometry, I can click on the tab labeled Pocket Options. Under the Material Cut mode, we have a contour cut. This forces us into a climb cut everywhere. I can change the cut mode from contour cut to either zigzag or spiral, and we'll get a different style tool path. I'm going to adjust it to spiral, click OK, and we'll see what that produces. Here's the result of having changed from a contour cut to a spiral cut. As you can see, SURFCAM comes down in the corner here, plunging down off of the part, feeding in toward the center of the pocket, and then spiraling outwards to cut the pocket. Afterwards, we wrap it up and over, and plunge down again in the middle of the second pocket, finishing that pocket before going to the third pocket at the end. If you look at a top view, you can see that each plunge occurs off of the part before feeding into the part. In conclusion, flat surface machining can be a time saver when you're trying to machine 3-axis parts. It easily picks up the flat surfaces that are available to be machined and cuts them. Remember, however, that it does have limitations. Unlike 2-axis pocketing and 2-axis contouring, there are no peck levels available in flat surface machining. You will always machine at the ultimate depth of your surface.